Now that we've counted inventory, we need to take a look at our variances and our actual versus theoretical food costs. So the first thing you need to do is log into Restaurant 365. Your screen may look like this. So in order to go to reporting, you'll need to go to the classic view. Then you should have a link for my reports. I've made some reports favorites, but today we're going to look at the actual versus theoretical analysis, which if you don't have it as a favorite currently, you can find it under purchases and inventory, actual versus theoretical analysis. So in here it was already prompted, but typically you're going to want to customize and figure out which count you want to look at. So for now I have access to a lot of different locations, but you'll probably only see the location you have access to. So we'll look at Athens daily count for day shift on the 9th of April to the day shift on the 10th of April. So basically one whole day between the two. And you could choose an early bird to a day shift, or an early bird on the 9th to an early bird on the 12th. You can really choose any interval you want, and it's going to pull that theoretical inventory based on what you rang up during that time period between the counts, and then what you actually had on hand from one to the other. So we're not going to change any other prompts here. We're just going to run this report. So we're going to look at large meat. So we're going to drill down into meat, large. So here it's saying that I used 7.5 cases of meat. Theoretically, I should have only used 6.92 cases of meat. So I have a 0.58 case variance. There was not any waste entered. So my unexplained variance is still 0.58. If I would have added waste in here for that, there would be a variance still, but at least it would be explained. So that's quantity, and then to the right here you have the dollar amounts. So let's pretend that, you know what, that just doesn't look right. So we want to go in and look at the counts. So you would go back over to Smart Ops and inventory, and maybe we think it was the day count on the 10th, so the ending count was wrong. Expand this. So you can see that this count has been completed. Now in order for the count to show up on the reporting, it must be completed. So you can't have anything that's in progress. These counts here, these are not in inventory. It does not hit the report until it's completed. Go back into the inventory. We're going to look at the item details. So we had 60 cases of meat total. You can actually click on that and see that this was counted as 58 cases, 16 stacks, and one patty. You can see the cost, the current amount on hand, the previous count, and how many they had, and so on. So let's say that, you know what, that's actually wrong. That was a mistake. You can actually go in here and unlock it, and then you can go back into count mode. And then you can click on the count, and then we can go to large meat, say, you know what, instead of 58, we actually had 60 full cases. Click on review, and then remember you have to make it complete. Now, every day, the operating partner should be going in here, looking at this analysis, and then always approving. Approving is just more of a formality step so that we know that the operating partner has been looking at these inventories to ensure accuracy and that they've approved the counts in their store. So for now, I'm going to approve this one as well. All right. So let's go back and run the report again. So I should be able to still have the same items. Remember, we have 7.5 actual usage. That actual usage should go down because I said I had more meat on hand than the person that counted it did. And it did exactly that. So you can see that now I've only used 5.5 cases of meat. And theoretically I should have used 6.92. So I'm actually over. I have more meat than I should have. And you can see the difference in there. So it can be a little confusing going through different counts and ranges and things like that, but if you kind of stick to this process, then it makes it easier to diagnose and look at root cause and identify where you may have some gaps in food costs. Or if you do find an issue with a count that you need to correct, you can do that. The last thing to remember is that you need to have your invoices accounted for, you need to have all your IUTs accounted for before you go and count the product. And then you need to approve those things in the sequence that they came in. So you don't want to go in and complete and approve a day shift inventory for the 10th when the day shift inventory for the 9th hasn't been completed and approved. So that does make a difference in how these reports run. So that's inventory and actual versus theoretical analysis.